Okay, so right here I'm going to do a quick test of my new cargo ship. This is the Cargo 3. I've added a few modifications here. I've given it some new docking ports. I have switched out to a different more flatter drone system to control it. And have added one of those fancy new skipper engines. I'm not quite sure how well that's going to work out because they are less powerful. But we're going to give it a try. I'm going to try and get into orbit here. We can aim for gateway. I have a new version of one of my landers docked to that station. I'm hoping that I will be able to test these two together. This system is designed to put So that was less than promising. Let me try that one again. This is expertly designed to put a whole ship, well, a whole orange tank into orbit. And, you know, that's the goal here, so let's, okay, so we're firing the SRBs before oh yeah, there's all sorts of problems with this. Oops. I want all my engines to fire at once, and I'll drop them as they're done. Okay, perfect. This is a more better design. Hopefully we won't break everything here. But who knows? I don't. Alright, we'll just get up the courage here to try and launch this thing. Here we go. Okay, so we're on our way up. Actually, let's thrust out of this. We're doing a good bit of control to it. Throttle back just a wee bit. We don't want to make those mainsails overheat. I'm sure if the skipper, it looks like the skipper doesn't have that issue. I've read that this guy in the middle of the skipper is a little... It's much better as a second stage engine than a first stage. We'll see how it fares once we drop some of this other stuff. So we're moving up, picking up speed quite a bit. We're about to lose our solid rocket boosters. Drop those. We're approaching 200 meters per second, and as a rule of thumb, you don't want to go over 200 meters per second when you are in the lower part of the atmosphere. And so I usually gauge between 10,000 and 12,000 meters as when I can go over 200. So you can see me throttling back. I'm making sure I stay below. And we're at 10,000. We're just going to walk a little bit further up, and then we'll do our gravity turn. Alright, so roughly 12,000 in here. I'm going to pitch towards 90 degrees and throttle up all the way. Well, not quite all the way. Our mainsail's a little low, so cut it back just a little bit. Here. And we're actually going up pretty well. This is handling extremely well for how much mass we've got here. This is a ton of weight. And I don't know if I could be much happier about how well this is handled. I haven't even had to even touch the RCS system, which was on here for that reason. Dang it, I did it. You know, everyone always says RCS system, ATM, machine. Oh man. abbreviations. Reaction Control System. Alien Time Machine. I mean, Automated Teller Machine. Shit, so we're really getting up there. I'm gonna still try and target this guy. This new launch system appears to be a little better than I had anticipated. Okay, so here, since we don't have the engines on, we'll have to do a bit of the gas to get us rotating. You gotta love that I made it to orbit music. Congratulations, you're no longer going to die a fiery death. I'm gonna try and burn off the rest of this fuel and try and jumble my way over to where I'm gonna want to aim. Boy, these are sipping when they're beef it up, and there it goes. Drop out that outer ring. Give a little bit of a woo. Oh, well, we lost our other thing there, and our engine. So, woo. We are in something. But not quite. Try that again. I would say this is not going so terribly for a first flight, but this is not at all the first flight of this ship. This variant, maybe, but really be going better than this. About this game, when you screw up and you're almost in orbit and then you have to try and do it again, it's less than fun, especially when you've got one of these big hulking ships that's not just blistering its way into orbit. You're taking your sweet time getting up to speed, making sure it doesn't tip over, managing everything perfectly. Although I did watch a video with Scott Manley in it today, and he had a guy from the V816, some foundation that's looking for near-Earth asteroids, and Scott had him play KSP. Well, it went very badly. For an astronaut who's been to Mir and the ISS, flown on a shuttle and the Soyuz, turns out video game rocket science harder than regular rocket science. Probably not harder, but very different. So this time we're going to pay a little better attention to how high we're getting, and maybe we won't overshoot our target. Although it's way ahead of us. It's the worst in these low orbit stations. This guy is at 100 kilometers. Doing a catch up when you've only got 20 kilometers of space to go lower than them is less than ideal. Oop. I'll circle up, but should I just go mega high and try and loop around? That's a lot of fuel. Maybe somewhere in between here. There we go. That's okay. 300-kilometer orbit. We were basically up to that last time, so if we do one of these, I think we'll be pretty good. Second turn. Like point. There we go. We're almost there. I'm just gonna time accelerate towards the burn point. I'm gonna fire in just a second here. You want to split your time of burning halfway between the maneuver node and not the maneuver node. So this was a 20-second burn, so I started 10 seconds before, and I'll do 10 seconds after. 20. Ooh, this is actually perfect. We're gonna. It appears that we've come out unscathed. Maybe I'll have to work on that system. Oh gosh, this thing has a pretty good specific impulse, but that thrust compared to those 6 mainsails is not quite cutting it. What's going on? Oh, I separated. Oh, you know what? That we got destroyed here. Well, that's miraculous. It looks like in our attempts to get into orbit, when that explosion happened, that stuff must have broken apart, but we didn't notice it until later because all the parts were being pushed together by that engine. I wonder if I can... Where is this attached? Oh, there, I guess. I love the vehicle assembly building. It's kind of stupid playful. Like, you're building rocket. Yeah, a rocket. Just makes rocket science so simple and happy. I doubt it, but we'll try it. It'll work. Or something. Up, and... It would be very nice to get this actually into orbit. These new Clampetrons seem like they will be the answer. So when we're building big interplanetary ships and you're docking stuff together with these small docking ports, you're putting on adapters so you can use these big full-size things with the small docking ports. Nothing was staying together. You had really wobbly ships, and I feel like this could be the answer. Small little ships will be okay using this small stuff. I think my one-man lander will still use the old stuff because it was using the small size stuff. But my two-man lander, it's got a big tank on it, so it has. I just redesigned it. It's got one of the big docking ports on the bottom and one of the small ones up top, so it can still dock with big stuff and small stuff. I'm gonna have to make a tug. Just a small little RCS tug to sit on my space stations to be sort of an adapter between the big stuff and the small stuff. Because I'd like to eventually convert all my space stations to big. I'd have to put up new cores, and I don't really like that idea, but that's what happens. I've had to do it before. I will do it again. general orbit size. Again, I guess we better do the semi catch-up orbit thing. See how that goes. Oh, hey, look, we're already pointing kind of close to where we need. Super excited if we can get this pulled off. Not make the thing explode. Past experience would not be on our side. This game would be terrible without this time lapse. Can you imagine? Especially on interplanetary stuff. Oh well, I'll be back in 2015 to do my burn. Aim down the velocity vector. Go out cleanly. Yeah! There we go. Now we're out. We're clear. And we still have an engine attached to us. We'll have to finish this burn. Although I bet we're still working on getting to orbit. Yeah, this guy's not bad. He's got a power, but not too much. Oh dang, we have used a lot of that fuel though. Same thing happened, except there wasn't an explosion. Was there something in the flight dialogue that... Oh, structural failure. Well, that's not cool. Quite know what to do now. I could do... You know what I'll do? First off, we should deal with this fuel problem. Running out of fuel too early. All these tanks are nice and full of fuel. Why don't we feed the interstack? Maybe we do it on all of them instead of just the one. Yeah, if we can fuel that interstack, that'll be full. And we're at it. Take this off. Really test the new docking clamp because we're gonna put one on. Oop, right there. Then we'll hook it on. Right. Right, that should be good. Just for safe measure, you never have too many struts. So, put a strut inside here. Put some strut there. See if we can't do a launch. And if we can't get this to actually work right this time. Oh, helps if you hit the button. Okay. Now let's pretend this is the first launch, and in its inaugural launch that will probably be flawless. The Cargo 3. What? Why don't we do this right? Instead of having terrible orbits. Imagine that. We actually... Oh look, it's over our heads. Now we probably will have to play a little catch up with it, but not nearly as much, because... Oh, throttle's already up. Ready, set. Playing with a lot of the same ships for a long time, it's really a mixed bag coming back to designing new ships and trying them. I've done a big tour of the solar system with largely the same ships, a few modifications here and there, but for the most part I've been using the same old stuff. And now it's kind of interesting to see parts come out and to be able to adapt those legal designs that I have, as well as see how the old parts' roles change based on what the new stuff is. These engines. I think all these mainsails might be a little overkill. I'd be interested to see how I'd do on 4. I actually get to use that skipper for something. Oh shoot. Under gravity turn. Just sitting here blabbing away. But there's a point where adding more rockets and adding more fuel doesn't give you as much of a gain, and I wonder if I've come close to that point with these. Those 2 extra stacks. It's been quite a while since I've tried to rehash this though, so I'm going to try and dip lower to try and do a little bit better of a catch up. But I'm pointing at their velocity vector right now, which does not give me great hope for catching them. Fuel there. Really like to be pointing down that velocity vector when I release. Then I'm heading in the same direction as the rest of the components. Trying to. But do we still have? We still have our parts. And I still have throttle control, so either something's changed this time, or something my flying does later screws it all up. I always like to see, but so we just have to make a small dip in the atmosphere to make that happen. I don't think so. I'll undercut their orbit. 85's fine. But not by so much that I don't come out the other side. We'll stay above the atmosphere. Man, I forgot I had that extra RCS tank. I've been sort of feeling like I shouldn't use any. But I'm just burning. I'll have to make sure to transfer into these two when I got some time now. Now I got two 750s. There we go. Weighted burn 1 minute and 24 seconds. There we go. So long as this thing doesn't destroy my ship, this skipper is not so bad. performing admirably. It's the size of these tanks isn't overheating quite as much thrust as the main sail, but its second stage, it's doing good. Oh crap, something broke. Dang it. You can see the center of mass shift right there. I wonder if it broke at the same spot. I appear to be able to still hit the clampetron. Here's the dangerous thing. I'm not throttled up. But still under acceleration. Of course, there's nothing to control on this one. Switch to it. Structural linkage failure. All I can really do is watch the fuel drain out of this one and see where I end up. I could try and see if I can get into orbit on RCS, but I've gotta do something like 400 meters per second delta V. It's possible, I guess. You know, in my guesstimation, not actually doing any valid estimation mind. Of course we can do that. Go to the moon on RCS. And our inclination only sucks a lot. It's a nice rotation. But I think we're almost out of fuel here, so oh man. I wanted to go with the docking port. Well, that might be enough of that. There's some sort of design flaw here. I would love to know what it is, but at present, don't really have any idea. No. Much of a change to this ship. I guess the clampetron from there is holding together fairly well up until the point where it's gotta change. I can imagine a engine with more thrust would help. The Poodle is a little lacking. Okay, so one more try here. One more try. Why don't we do this one more time? Oh, ha! I just saw this broadcast is totally named wrong. Okay. I was wondering why I had so many bounces on stream. Wow, that's impressive. 15 people saw that. Oh. They probably thought I was playing Planetary Annihilation. Well, maybe I'll play some Planetary Annihilation. Another time. I did the other night. And, you know, I'd like to put the gray fuel tanks below my, or in between my oranges and my mainsails every time, but you just end up getting crazy wobbly. You don't put a bunch of struts on there, things gonna wobble to death. It's difficult to fly having to run it at 85%. Why couldn't it just be 85% as powerful? Let us run it. Everyone loves their mainsails. I read something on Reddit the other day, hoping that we would get more SRBs, because for the longest time, since I've been playing, which was 0.13 maybe? That sounds about right. There have only been those two kinds of SRBs, and, you know, there should be better ones. There should be way better ones. Because the little ones that are on this ship always just feel so weird, because they're not even the same size diameter. What if we had an SRB the diameter of one of these? We could do 3. Now we're back into the terrible chase orbit that we wanted to get in, or we wanted to avoid. Okay, and I'm going to try running this thing lower this time. I still have full control here, so I'm gonna try and run it I'm gonna run it like a mainsail, and hopefully my ship will stay together. If not, then scrap this design for something else. Go up? I don't want to go too up. How is that so? We can hit that, I'll be happy. 57-second burn. Say, I'm gonna consider it a minute-ish. Minute 5 burn, even though it's probably already taking into account that lower speed. I just really don't want to overdrive this thing. It's going to be so great if I can get these bigger ports into orbit, but it's going to be worthless if, well, if they're worthless. Alright, let's fire. Only have to survive 30 more seconds. We're all good. We can tell that we're still good because our center of mass is somewhere in here. brakes, it moves over here. Have to gently keep going. Oh shit, are you... Son of a... What? Well, there it is. The worst thing ever. Makes me sad. Tried that with the decoupler, I tried that with the senior. The only thing I can think to do is to come in here and get rid of this. Get rid of this thing. Back to it. Probably more real. Want that to come. There it is. Alright, well, maybe I'll try that again sometime. But I think that's all for tonight.